Alright, so state of the Hoopties. The Tundra has had recalls since the day I bought it. I had planned on putting it on Turo, but you can't list a vehicle on Turo that has recalls, so here we are. Tundra, no Turo. The new car is listed on Turo already, and I just finished putting some sound deadening in it. The Subaru needs front pads. I already have them, just haven't had a chance to install them. The Roadster just got its oil change and inspection, and it has what looks like a valve cover leak and a power steering leak, so that's going to need to be addressed. And then there's the probe. Yeah, so the plan is to get this thing on the road, make a few bucks, get this one back to perfect, resume work on this one, and hopefully get a title for it, and go from there. So back when we had our last Mazda 3, the only thing I didn't like about it was the interior noise. So first thing I'm doing on this one is just putting a little bit of sound deadening in it, try and quiet down the interior some. And that has a cover that'll go over it so you won't even see. So I already installed some sound deadening under the hood and in the trunk. Now I'm working on the doors. I just did the passenger side already, so now I kind of have an idea. But basically for the front door, you're just gonna pry off this cover right here for the tweeter, and then you're gonna pry off that cover behind the handle, and then you're gonna cover off the actual gloss black trim for the window switches, disconnect everything, and then down here under the armrest there's one little screw. So each door, front and rear, has 3 screws holding it. So this one has the one there, one back there, and then I forgot to mention you gotta pull this panel off, and there's one hiding behind the speaker on the front door. Now when you come to the back door, it's a little simpler. So you've still got your little hidden one under the armrest, and then you still pop that loose and unhook your window switch, and then behind here there's 2. So whereas the front door you had one behind the speaker grill, you just have 2 on this one, and then one down there. So once you pull off your tweeter and your door speaker cover and the trim behind the handle and the door switches, and then you begin prying your panel off, you're gonna inevitably leave these behind, all in your door. They are a pain for sure. So you'll wanna pry them out of your door and then go put them back into the panel itself so that you can clip it back in. Now when you're pulling this panel, there are clips everywhere, so you can basically pry it away from the door everywhere except for this corner up here. This corner up here, it actually, it doesn't clip on, it kind of like slides down. It slides down like a hook. So don't pry this corner. Basically you can pry everywhere else around, but don't pry right there. So you're thinking, why are you tearing apart a new car to install sound deadening? Well, here's your answer. This is what it has. A thin layer of cotton. So you've got a plastic shell with a thin layer of cotton and none on the door. So this is just one of the areas where, you know, car companies will cut costs. So it's just a little nicety. It might only reduce the interior noise by a small margin, but in my mind, every bit helps. So take a little bit of time at first to do it, and then enjoy the car. So this is what I'm using. I used it on my Subaru as well. It's just Amazon Basics sound deadening. It's real easy to work with. You don't really need any special tools. You can just take some scissors and cut it to whatever shapes you want, and then it just has like an adhesive backing on it. So you just kind of stick it where you want it. Now we'll talk real quick about where I'm actually putting that sound deadening. So as you saw before, I pulled all the door panels. So all 4 door panels have pieces cut up and just adhered to the metal behind that thin piece of cotton that's covering up the plastic. So all 4 door panels. And then I actually removed this part of the back seat, the bottom part, and I put some underneath there, making sure not to get in the way of the fuel pump door in case anybody needs to get in there for maintenance. Then I put some inside the spare wheel well. It's kind of underneath that styrofoam, so like I said, you really don't even know it's there. I mean, when the cover's in, you don't see it. I also put a couple pieces up there on that shelf where the speakers are mounted. I also put some up here behind that panel inside the trunk lid. And then I have 1 sheet left, and my plan for that last sheet is the front fender wells are where a lot of your road noise comes in. And if you look in here, you'll see that's just plastic. It's just a little plastic fender liner. So there's really no sound deadening associated with that whatsoever. So once I pull the wheels off to ceramic coat them, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this plastic fender liner, and then depending on which surface looks better for the job, I'll either mount some on the inside of this where it's not exposed to the elements as much, or I'll actually put it directly on the body of the car. So that'll cut back a little bit of the noise coming through these front fenders. But yeah, so that's it for the sound deadening. Next video, we'll probably be doing some washing and polishing and ceramic coating of the paint. Like I did mention, it had hail damage. The new windshield was supposed to go in today. They came out and realized they had the wrong glass. So hopefully tomorrow the windshield will be replaced. And then I ordered some ceramic coating for the seats and the interior. So since this is a Turo, well, since I take care of everything I own, whether it's a Turo or not, I'm gonna make sure it's good and protected. And I'll keep up with the maintenance on it. I'm just one of those people that's OCD about that sort of thing. But yeah, see you next time.